Hello student, today we will discuss the second part or the last part of this chapter. So first is that the density. Okay, density of a substance is a very important quantity in physics. Density means actually the ratio of the mass by volume, or you can tell that in per unit volume how much mass present is called density. Okay, or you can write down the density is equal to D, or it can be defined as rho also, density. So per unit volume how much mass is present is called the density of the substance. Okay, density of the liquid, density of the solid, density of the gas, all are present. So density can be written as mass divided by volume. Okay, so you can easily write down that density is equal to ratio of mass per mass by volume. So density can be written as in mathematical form small m by capital V. M is the mass of the body and V is the volume of the body. Now here you can easily tell that density is not a constant term. Okay, it's a variable term. It can vary with the change in temperature. How it will change with the temperature? So density of a body will decrease. So volume will increase with the so what is happening with the volume? If you increase the temperature of a body, then volume of the body will definitely, what will happen? The volume will increase. With the rise in temperature, volume will increase. So volume will increase means density will decrease, because these two terms are inversely proportional to each other. So the density will decrease with temperature. Okay, so with the rise in temperature, density of a body will definitely decrease here, because you know that V is proportional to T. So that means density of the body, density is inversely proportional to the temperature. D is inversely proportional to the temperature. Okay, so this is the thing. Now, is it true for every liquid or every gases or every solid? No, it is not every time true. Okay, so we know that there is a, in case of water, there is a one different type of uneven expansion is present, that is called anomalous expansion. Anomalous expansion of water. What is the thing is that anomalous expansion means, according to the law here, density should decrease with the increase in temperature. So if you draw the graph of the density versus temperature in case of water, it will show you like this type of graph. I will explain that one. It will show you this first, then it will just go in this way. So here if you draw the peak point, in this side density in the y-axis, and in this side temperature of the body is present. This is 4 degrees centigrade temperature, this is 0, and after 4 degree is here. So what is happening here? You can see that density of the body will increase with the rise in temperature till 4 degrees centigrade temperature. Okay, at 4 degrees centigrade temperature you can see the maximum amount of density we are getting. This amount of density we are getting here at 4 degrees centigrade temperature. After 4 degrees centigrade temperature, if you increase the temperature of the body or increase the temperature of water, then definitely the density will decrease. So what should happen here? Actually the thing that density should decrease with the rise in temperature, but up to this point, up to 4 degrees centigrade temperature, as you watching the graph here, in this portion with the rise in temperature, density is continuously increasing. After 4 degree centigrade temperature, while you are increasing the temperature, definitely density is decreasing, but this is uneven expansion. Okay, up to this point. So as that type of expansion we are getting here, that's why this is called the anomalous expansion of water. Okay, so this is the actual density related term. Numericals are also present, density related, while the mass will be given or the volume will be given, then you can easily calculate the density of the body. Okay, next part of this chapter is what? That is Next part of this chapter is the calculation of the area of irregular polygon or irregular surface. So area of irregular surface. Okay, how to calculate the area of irregular surface? So we have already just calculated this type of thing while the rectangular shape any surface is given, or square shape any surface is given to you, or triangular shape any surface is given to you. Then you can easily calculate the area of this one. L into B here also. Yes, side into side, you know that one. Base into height, that means half into B into H. So these all formulas are known to us. Okay, we can easily calculate with the help of these all formulas. Area here L into B, area here A square. So these are the formulas. But if you take this type of any surface, suppose this is one surface. Okay, this is a irregular polygon. Maybe you can understand that this is a irregular polygon here. So how to calculate the area of this surface? So there is a unique rule is present. I'm just telling you how to calculate the area of this one. First of all, you make a grid of 1 centimeter. What is the grid actually? First you start just drawing some lines. This is one line here. Okay, straight line. Then with 1 centimeter separation, you just continue drawing this type of lines here. 1 centimeter separation should be there in each and every line. Here also, here also, here also, and suppose this is the last line. Okay, each and every line is consisting just having 1 centimeter separation everywhere. Now here from this side also we will start. From here one line we will draw. Next line we will draw. Here also 1 centimeter separation should be present. 1 centimeter separation should be present. Here 1 centimeter, here 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter grid it is called actually. So this type of grid we will draw. You can use the graph paper also. With the help of graph paper you can easily draw this type of grids. So in this way we will draw the 1 centimeter lines. Okay, now here one formula is present. The formula is the area of this type of irregular shape is equal to C plus half into P. Okay, this is the formula of the area of formula to calculate this type of shape. C means what? C means center. Okay, and P means what? P means perimeter. This is called perimeter. So what is the center and what is the perimeter here? Actually center means what? The surface within this particular area, within this particular surface, how many complete squares you are getting inside and how many complete square you are getting on the perimeter. That we have to calculate. How to calculate that one? Just see that. Inside, this is the actual boundary. This is the actual boundary, you can see. Inside that one, we will mark the complete squares. Okay, by red pen I am just marking this one. This type of complete square we are marking. These are the complete square. You just see these are the complete. You can easily calculate. This is one complete square. This is also one complete square. Here one complete square. This one also. This one also. This one. This one also. Here also. This one also. Next. So these many complete square we are getting here. Okay, these many complete square we are getting here. This is also one complete square. Okay, now I am marking the incomplete square by the black pen. Okay, or here also one complete square. Here also. Okay, now by black pen we are marking the incomplete. So you can see this particular square. Here one line is already in just inside this square. So this is one incomplete square. This is okay. This is one incomplete square. This is also one incomplete square. This is also one incomplete square. This is also. This one also incomplete square. This one also incomplete square. This one also. This one also. this one also one incomplete square, this one also, okay, this one also incomplete square. So I am just marking all the incomplete square which are present here. Okay, so these are the incomplete squares. So now calculate how many red areas, red squares are present and how many black squares are present. So I will calculate 1 2 starting from here, 1 2 3 4, actually here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25. So C is equal to 25 here, and P how many we are getting? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17. Okay, so 17 perimeter square we are getting here. So now just we will put the values on the formula. The formula is what? Formula is area is equal to 25 plus half into 17. Maybe you are understanding C is 25, so 25 here, half into P means 17 here. So if you calculate this value here, 17 means how much? 17 by 2, so 8.5. So 8.5 will be here. So 8.5 you are getting here. So 25 plus 8.5 if you add here, 33.5 centimeter square will be the area of this irregular shape. Okay, so in this way you can easily calculate. First calculate complete square which are present inside the surface, then calculate the incomplete square, that means through which the perimeter line is just going. Okay, so this is the red one, that is the center, and the perimeter one, that is the black one. So in this way you can easily calculate this one. Okay, last part of this chapter, that is the speed. Okay, here from speed, actually the unit of the speed, the definition of the speed, the numerical of from speed, that type of question are repeatedly asked in the exam. Okay, so speed of the body. Speed means what? Actually speed can be defined as the distance traveled by the body or by the moving body, you can tell, divided by the time taken. Okay, so unit time, how much distance a body will cover, so that is called the speed of the body. Now in mathematical form, speed is denoted by capital S, and distance, that means small d, and time is capital small t. Okay, so S is equal to d by t. So that is the speed of a body. Now if you talk about the unit of speed, then definitely this unit of the distance divided by the unit of time. If you divide these two things, then you will get the unit of speed. So in SI system, the speed unit of speed is how much? What is that? That meter divided by second. And in CGS system, suppose you are talking about, then that is centimeter per second. So these are the units. So now numerical of this all thing I will do in the next video. So keep watching that one. Thank you.